Howdy folks, Danny K here, and welcome to the channel. Let's dive into a question that's been baffling philosophers, physicists, and, well, anyone who's ever looked up at the stars and wondered, what's it all about? Are we living in a computer-generated simulation? I know, sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? But stick with me here. Some seriously smart folks out there think it could be a real possibility. So what makes some people think we might be living in a giant computer game? Well, let's start with the nature of reality itself. We experience the world through our senses, sight, sound, touch, all translated into electrical signals our brains can understand. But what if those signals, the very essence of our perception, are being fed to us? What if our reality is just lines of code in some super advanced computer program? Now I know what you're thinking. Danny K, that's just crazy talk, but hold on. Let's talk about the progress we've made in computer technology. We've gone from clunky calculators to virtual reality experiences that are becoming more and more realistic every day. It's not a stretch to imagine a future where simulations are indistinguishable from reality, and it's not just the tech. Quantum physics, that mind-bending branch of science that studies the smallest particles in the universe, suggests that the universe might be pixelated at its most fundamental level. Kind of like how a computer screen is made up of tiny pixels. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. Then there's the Fermi paradox. Where is everybody? The universe is vast and old with billions of stars and planets. Statistically speaking, there should be other intelligent life out there. But we haven't found a single shred of evidence that's officially confirmed. But yes, there are statements by people who said they met someone who is from way out there, beyond Earth. But could they be simulations? What if we're alone in this simulated world? What if the strange beings some people say they've encountered are slipping in from an adjacent simulation? At a Minnesota MUFON meeting that was breaking up a few years back, Tom asked if the members thought close encounters were of extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings. The informal response was about 50-50. Half didn't think extraterrestrials were involved. Look, I'm not saying simulation's a done deal. But when you start connecting the dots, the idea of a simulated universe starts to feel a little less like science fiction and a little more like a mind-blowing possibility. Let's break down this simulation theory a bit further, shall we? Imagine a civilization way more advanced than ours, with computing power that would make our most powerful supercomputers look like toys. They could create simulations so complex, so detailed, that the beings inside wouldn't even know they were part of an experiment. Think of it like a video game. The characters in your favorite game, they don't know they're living in a digital world, right? They go about their lives battling monsters, falling in love, all while being controlled by lines of code. Now what if our reality is just a much more sophisticated version of that? Here's a fun thought, déjà vu. You know that eerie feeling that you've experienced something before, even though you know you haven't? Some folks think it could be a glitch in the simulation, like when a video game stutters and repeats a moment. Ever have a dream that felt incredibly real? I've had dreams like that. What if those dreams are glimpses outside the simulation, a peek behind the curtain of our digital reality? And then there are those strange coincidences, those moments of synchronicity that seem too perfect to be random, like when you think of a song and it starts playing on the radio, or you bump into an old friend you were just thinking about. Though the latter may be just synchronicity because we are connected in a superconsciousness, but that's another subject. But could there be glitches in the Matrix, maybe? Chapter 3. Do we live in a computer simulation like in the Matrix?
Danny K, my proposed new law of physics backs up the idea. Now, I'm a science guy, so I don't throw theories around lightly. But I've been working on something, a new law of physics that, if proven true, could provide some pretty compelling evidence for the simulation hypothesis. You see, in our current understanding of physics, there are certain constants, fundamental values that govern the universe. The speed of light, for example, or the gravitational constant. But what if these constants aren't so constant after all? My new law proposes that these constants might actually be variables, subject to change within the parameters set by the simulation's programmers. Einstein envisioned his relativity theory to explain away an experiment that failed to prove the Earth was moving. Look up the topic, and a few modern-day scientists are challenging relativity theory itself, which is after all a theory. Think of it like the difficulty settings in a video game. Maybe the programmers can tweak the laws of physics just like we can adjust the game's difficulty, And here's the kicker. There have been some anomalies in our observations of the universe, tiny fluctuations in these fundamental constants that can't be easily explained by our current models. Could these fluctuations be evidence of the programmers tinkering with the simulation? It's a bold claim, I know, but that's how science works. You observe, you hypothesize, you test. And who knows, maybe this new law of physics will be the key to unlocking the ultimate truth about our reality.
So, there you have it, the simulation hypothesis. Is it just a mind-bending thought experiment, or could it be the answer to one of the biggest questions we face? Are we living in a simulation? It's a question that forces us to confront the nature of reality itself, to consider the possibility that everything we know, everything we experience, might be a carefully constructed illusion.
What do you think?